Welcome to Cooking with Anton. Now in the middle of the holidays, one of the typical things that we like to have around the house is a bowl full of nuts. We've got walnuts, and pecans, and almonds, and filberts, hazelnuts. And one of the things that you'll need, of course, is a nutcracker. And you may not know this, but some people hurt themselves badly with the nutcrackers. So I'm going to simply show you what to do. Now, there are two openings here that you can see, some for the larger and some for the smaller. So an almond is a smaller nut, so it goes in the smaller half, and we're going to put it with the ridges facing outwards. And now when we're cracking it, so we don't make a big mess, we're going to cup our hand around the nutcracker. Have it. Very simple. Delicious fresh nuts. Now you may have a larger nut like a pecan, and we're going to put that in the big side, and it'll just barely close it. Make sure your fingers aren't in there. Again, we're holding our hand around the nut. Hear that nice crack? And then as we pull it apart, we have pecans. A lot of the stuff that we make at the holidays, we use either ground almonds or ground filberts, and they give the doughs a really special flavor. Most people don't know about using nuts, and they make their sugar cookies. They're all very good, but you add these nuts to that recipe, and oh my gosh, they are so delicious. And the grated nuts add a lightness to the dough that you won't get otherwise. And of course the flavor you wouldn't get otherwise either. Now here's a neat trick that my father taught me when I was little. If you can get a filbert shell that cracks exactly in half, you've got this nice little disc, put it between your two fingers, between your index finger and your middle finger. You got a whistle. Here's your Christmas whistle. Put that in their stockings. Save your nutshells. Just throw nutshells in their stockings and make them whistles. They'll love it. But if they figure it out, you'll probably go crazy. You'll need a little bit of grog to survive the holidays. All right. We're going to grate some nuts. Now I bought some nuts that have already been shelled. I have almonds, I have some filberts, I have some pecans. And we're going to grate those so that we can use them later in cookie doughs. The food processor is a great way to grind nuts. If I had known that when I was a kid, I would have been thrilled to have a food processor, because this is what I had to do when I was a kid. My sister and I had to grind the nuts by hand. Now, actually, it wasn't so bad. We made our breadcrumbs with this, and we ground our nuts with this. Simply screwed on and clamped onto the counter, and you put your nuts in the top and grind it. This is something my mother brought over from Germany, tucked away in her down comforter when they came over on the ship years ago. So just for old time's sake, hours of grinding nuts or breadcrumbs, it was a Christmas job for us. It's not that difficult, but when you're a kid, you're going, oh, actually I think we like doing this. And this is our goal. This is what we're aiming to make, this nice fine nut flour. Beautiful powder. Now these little chunks that came around the outside, they'll shake up to the top and be easy to pick off. But of course today, you don't have to watch me grind nuts by hand. We're going to throw them in the food processor, and you throw in, that's probably entire bag's worth there. That looks like about 2 cups worth. And you don't want to just turn on the food processor, you're going to pulse it. When you pulse, the nuts keep circulating. If you just leave it on, the nuts at the bottom get ground into powder first, and the nuts on top just stay big. So turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. Put on your nice earmuffs. Now you can hear when they're getting mixed, when they're getting ground nicely, because as it becomes more of a flour, it's not as loud and crazy. As you get closer to the end, pulse it, because you don't want to overdo it, because if you overdo it, then the oils will glom it all together and it won't be light and fluffy. Wow, look at that. If I had known about this when I was a kid, oh my goodness. Well, Okay, so we're going to put these in a bowl on the side, and we'll be using these for our Christmas baking. I just have to try this. I have to admit, even though we had to grind the nuts, nobody else had this. We had the best cookies in town, and I'm teaching you how to make them. This is Anton with Cooking with Anton. Remember, be good to those you love, be good to yourself.